Welcome back to Say It Louder, the podcast where I drag dating culture, yell into the void, and process all my emotional trauma so you don't have to. I'm your host. My name is Diana, your face's hype friend, your go-to chaos consultant, and your unpaid therapist with a mic. And today we're talking about something that is way too real and not real enough at the same damn time. Modern day hellhole. Call us situationships. The relationship that is not a relationship, but somehow it is your entire personality right now. Okay, you know the vibes. You're texting every day, you're sending TikToks like it's love letters. You have inside jokes that look you feel like emotional foreplay, and yet, when someone asks, "What are you?" you buffer. You're either gonna say we're just vibing or he's just not ready for a relationship right now, like he's a software update. So get comfortable, grab a snack, send him a WYD text just for the nostalgia hit, and let's unpack why we put ourselves in this emotional purgatory, why we confuse connection for commitment, and why you deserve more than the vague voice notes and a man who only opens up at 1 a.m. Okay, let's say it with our chest all together. More than friends, less than lovers is equals to less peace of mind. It's that relationship that's not a relationship, but it's giving you palpitations. You talk every day, you flirt, you check in, you've trauma dumped, you've probably done other things that God and your group chat only know about. But when you ask, what are we? Suddenly, it's like you're speaking in Morse code and he doesn't understand and he hits you with, I don't want to ruin what we have. Ruin what? The vague texting schedule, the emoji flirtation economy, the emotional breadcrumbs you throw at me like I'm a sad Victorian orphan, a playlist, and unspoken tension. What do we have that I cannot see? You've got all the vibes of a relationship. It's a created intimacy with no definition. It's romantic limbo. Some call it the haunted waiting room of love. There's no snacks, there's no just emotional breadcrumbs and a ghost of boundaries you never established. And the worst part, it's not even technically bad. That's why it messes with your head. You're not being yelled at, you're just being fed enough intimacy to stay hooked, but never enough to feel secure. This is called a strategy. And the strategy is to keep you around while they decide if they feel like stepping up. Let me walk you through the playbook. Situationship is like a game you didn't agree to play, but somehow you're losing anyway. They text, good morning, every day like it's meaningful. They know your favorite coffee order. They say things like, I don't usually open up like this with people, like it's a personality trait. But they only post you on their Instagram story as a blurry elbow in the background. Sir, do I look like a prop to you? They act like a boyfriend. They talk like a boyfriend. They even look like a boyfriend. Sometimes they do boyfriend things without actually being your boyfriend, and that's the catch. They do not commit like a boyfriend. It's just enough to feel special, but not enough to feel secure. According to a 2021 study in personality and individual differences, people often engage in ambiguous relationships because they fear rejection but still crave emotional validation. Translation: they want connection without the responsibility. It's emotional commitment cosplay. They show you care but don't confirm it. They flirt but they ghost. They say, I'm just bad at communication, as if Google Calendar and honesty are too much to ask. Let's not lie to ourselves, rational the hell out of it. You're rationalizing the bare minimum like it's a spiritual sign. He's just scared, he has trauma. Babe, who doesn't? We're all traumatized. You think I'm doing this podcast for fun? You're giving emotional labor like it's free samples. You're showing up like a wife while being treated like a playlist. And no, Spotify Wrapped is not a proof of commitment. Here's the sick part about it. We just stay because the fantasy is better than the facts. It is better than the reality. Because what if is sexier than what is. Situationships are emotional Situationships are emotional mirages. Situationships feel like maybe, they feel like almost close enough to being chosen, but far enough to make you question. They look like love from far away, but the closer you get, the more that you realize that it's just vibes and wistful thinking. Is that dangerous at a high? What if he just needs time? What if I'm different? What if this turns into something real? It never does. It's not a slow burn romance. It's a slow bleed. That's the dopamine hit. That's the plot line you start writing in your head after they send you up and a meme about attachment styles. And the worst part, your brain doesn't know the difference. Psychologist Helen Fisher, who literally studies love and attachment, found that romantic ambiguity activates the same reward systems in the brain as gambling. That's right, your situationship is basically a slot machine that keeps eating your self-esteem coins. You start thinking, maybe if I just wait long enough, they'll commit. Spoiler, they won't. You're not waiting for clarity, you're hoping for a miracle. You're not holding out for his relationship, you're playing emotional roulette with a man who says he doesn't believe in labels. There's no breakup, no closure, just you, spiraling on your notes app, crafting the world's emotionally unhinged paragraph at 2 a.m. That's why it hurts so much, because there's no official ending, just silence. Just seen at 3:19 a.m. Okay, deep breath. Time to take the clown nose off. Let me tell you something that sounds so harsh, but it's actually freedom. You're not the exception. You're the current placeholder. That's not an attack, that's a liberation. Because people who pull the situationship scam, they have a type, not a physical type, an emotional one. They look for the people who won't ask for more. People who are kind, patient, emotionally literate, and a little too forgiving for their own good. They want the easy people. They collect connections like Pokemon cards. You gotta catch just enough feelings just to stay interested, but not enough to commit. And you're the perfect storm of empathetic, chill, and delusional enough to think that maybe this time it might be different. I'm telling you, you're not crazy, you're not clingy, you're just being emotionally managed, not emotionally met. They breadcrumb you on purpose, they give you just enough affection to keep you confused, but never enough to feel safe. And it's not that they don't know what they're doing, it's they know exactly what they're doing. And you're easier to keep in the limbo than to lose completely. It's manipulation dressed up as vibes. It's romantic ambiguity weaponized to delay accountability. And you're sitting there analyzing a text like it's a coded message from the CIA. This isn't love, it's emotional capitalism. They're draining your energy for the ROI of attention, and you don't even get the health benefits. This generation is so good at performing intimacy. We send playlists, heart react voice notes, text hearts after deep convos, post cryptic captions with shared inside jokes, all while actively dodging the very thing those things are supposed to mean. It's cosplay. It's giving emotional situationship drag. We've mastered the aesthetics of love without doing the actual maintenance. We know how to act like we care, but when it's time to show up, be vulnerable, and risk actual accountability, crickets. Or worse, I'm just not ready. Like, okay, but you were about to tell me about your childhood trauma while spooning and playing Bon Iver in the background. Okay, affection isn't equal to availability. Effort isn't equal to intention. Texting me I miss you is not building anything with me. They love how you feel. They do not love what it takes to keep you. And it works because we let it. You should know that we let ourselves believe that the playlist means something. We pretend that Spotify curation is the new love language, but love is not a vibe. It's a verb. And if there's no action behind the energy, it's just created chaos. Being in a situationship is like living in a haunted house made of mixed signals and false hope. You keep thinking you saw something real, but then poof, it disappears. It's walking on emotional eggshells with a bouquet of red flags. You're overthinking every text, editing yourself mid sentence, softening your ones so you don't scare them away. You say you're chill, but your notes app says otherwise. Your screenshots folder, a trauma museum. You're in a relationship you can't post, can't claim, can't question, can't even talk about, but somehow can't leave. And it's exhausting. A study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships literally found that ambiguous romantic entanglements like these create higher levels of emotional stress and relational anxiety than either committed relationship or casual hookups. It's the not knowing that fries your nervous system. You're not just sad, you're neurologically short circuiting. You're carrying mental health load of relationship without the emotional payoff. While you're spiraling, they're out there, they're living their lives unbothered, probably posting a gym selfie with the caption healing. So here's the rally, babe. Set the damn standard. You're not dramatic, you're not needy, you're not too much. You're just simply asking to be loved like a person, not a placeholder. Like a human being, not a playlist with emotional support benefits. Stop confusing effort with care. Stop calling breadcrumbs a connection. Stop letting people who can't name you define you. You don't need more patience, you need more clarity. You don't need to wait it out. You need to walk the hell out of confusion. Ask the scary questions, set the boundaries, say, this isn't enough for me. Not because you're trying to force something, but because you're finally done pretending that almost is acceptable. Because almost won't love you through a bad week, almost won't show up when you need them, almost won't grow old with you, heal with you, build with you. You don't want almost, you want all in. And you can't receive that until you stop entertaining less. If you're spiraling right now, good. That's good. Spiral faster. Transcend. Rebirth yourself as someone who doesn't answer WYD texts from people who can't even define you. Evolve from the Lulu girl in limbo to healed queen who blocks with grace and never double texts again. Because here's the thing. If it feels love but acts like confusion or in confusion, it's not love. If they say they care but they treat you like a maybe, it's not enough. If you're doing mental gymnastics over a text response, baby, it's time to exit the circus. You deserve clarity. You deserve stability. You deserve someone who doesn't flirt with your potential but actually chooses you every day without disclaimer. So yeah, drop your worst situationship horror stories in the comments, or better yet, send this episode to the person who texts you up like they didn't emotionally colonize your brain for 3 months straight. This has been Say It Louder. My name is Liana. Faceless but never spineless. Stay hot, stay loud, and for the love of serotonin, stop vibing with people who confuse your worth. And I'll see you next week, unless I get ghosted by the algorithm.